You can start by introducing us. Tell everybody out there on the internet what we are, what we're about.
Alright everyone, this is our first podcast of our video blogs we're going to be doing here. We're going to try to do one a week at least. If we can, we're going to fit more in. To start out, my name is Kent. I am Knuckle Duster 72 on Xbox Live. And here we have
Steve, aka Yard Ninja.
And you can find all of our gamer tag info on several of our web pages. We have a YouTube channel where you're most likely seeing this. We also have supersadmedia.com. We are under the gaming section. You can go directly to our page, which is knuckleninja.wordpress.com. We have reviews, updates, random writings, reviews of classic video games, lots of different things like that on there.
Some personal opinions we're going to like to throw in there at the same time.
Right, and we do have a lot of opinions, and we'll get into a lot of different issues. We'll have a segment on the website. There's an email address there. You can send us questions you might have about the gaming setup that we have for the room here, how we have it. Different information on playing with us, joining Team Meds, which is Make 'em Die Slowly. Have all that information and a contact information to get in touch with us for that. And just check out supersadmedia.com. They have lots of different stuff on there from the Kentuckiana area where we're from. And you might find something that you're interested in. If you're interested in putting your work out there, art, video, music, anything else, we can set up a page for you as well.
So don't forget to tell them too, the Super Sad Media, hit the YouTube link.
Yes.
Facebook.
You can like us on those pages through Facebook. There's links on there. Like us on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Knuckle Ninja Meds. That would be the name of the YouTube channel we have. And that's pretty much the information you need to find out other stuff besides the videos we're having here. But we're going to start out, we're going to basically have segments each week. We're going to do a little bit of news from the game industry, a little information here, and then we're going to go into some review and some general discussion about online gaming and things of that nature.
And we may get into some reviews on some equipment, controllers, headsets, eyewear, that kind of stuff.
Right. I'm a technical-minded type guy. I like to know the specs and things of everything, and if we think it's worth trying out and putting it to the test, we'll give you a review of what we think. We have some controllers and equipment and different headsets and stuff here that we'll go through in future videos to, just give you some information if you're interested in purchasing some things.
I'm not nearly as technical. What I like to do, if I think it'll make you better, I try it, and then I usually find out that it doesn't really make you better, but it does help,
It's the only thing that makes you better is practice. So for some news, we'll start out here. I know everyone's been waiting and hearing about the Star Wars, the Old Republic MMO that's coming out. We've been hearing about it for some time. There were some issues with EA as far as release dates go and everything, and all the fans are getting a little anxious, but...
now that is the one you can get in the bundle pack with the console?
No, this is a different game.
Okay, different game.
That's a completely different game. That one still needs a lot of work, as far as I can tell from what I've seen. That's a Kinect exclusive he's talking about, the Star Wars Kinect bundle. This is an MMO, like World of Warcraft, games like that, where you basically build your own character and you interact with other people in the game world and go out and go on adventures and things. BioWare has announced a release date of December 20th, so anyone interested in the Star Wars The Old Republic for PC, that's going to be December 20th. It's only on PC, so I know I'm anxious to play that myself. I'm a big Star Wars fan.
Huge Star Wars fan.
Yeah. Some people, Death of the Ancients is it's a critical hit. It's been around for several years now. And they just had a tournament, Death of the Ancients 2 tournament Valve put on just last month, and the winners of that, they won $1 million in that tournament. They were, yes, And like we're in the gaming circuit and everything. We're going to be going to gaming tournaments. We'll have footage of all that stuff when we do that too. It was going to be in beta for about a year. They said they were going to do a beta release just to see how people liked it. But after the tournament, they said things went pretty well, and they have set up a release. There's not an official date, but they have pushed the release up. They're not going to do that beta for a whole year period like they were talking about. So that's good news for any Death of the Ancients fans there. That's DOTA 2. Also, Konami. You guys might remember the Silent Hill games from PlayStation 2 era. Those are some good classic scary games. Being Halloween time coming up here, Konami announced that they're going to have an HD collection.
Nice.
It was announced that it was going to be on PlayStation 3 only, but they've changed that, and now it's going to be PS3 and Xbox 360. It'll have Silent Hill 2 and 3. Those are the only two in the series it'll have on the disc, and they're going to be HD remastered and everything, just like they've done with the God of War collections.
Original Halo.
Yeah, the 10th anniversary of Halo Combat Evolved will be out soon this year too as well.
That'd be nice.
Yes, it should be. 343 Industries is taking over for Bungie, as many of you probably know. Bungie separated with Microsoft several years ago. They did do ODST and Reach. I was doing some reading on the 343 Industries, and it sounds like they pretty much, they actually put together the Halo Waypoint system. Any of you Halo fans out there, if you use Waypoint on your 360, the dashboard, 343 is the company that actually put that whole thing together once they merged with Microsoft to work on the Halo universe. Lots of good people working in that. HD collections we were talking about. I don't know if you ever played it. You were more PlayStation than I was. There was a game, Shadow of the Colossus, and there was one called Ico. Team Ico made both games, and if you never played Shadows of the Colossus, I would definitely check it out. Really good. Those are being remastered and put back out on PS3.
That'll be one I have to check out. I've not played that.
Definitely play Shadow of the Colossus if you've never played it. I would definitely give it at least one good playthrough. Team Ico makes really great games that actually are more than just story and graphics. It's just the way they pull you in and get you into they get your emotions invested into the characters. You know, it's very interesting. So if you haven't checked those out, definitely that's out now. And that's pretty much it for the good news that I can think of at the moment. I'm sure there's a lot more, but we're going to have a lot of videos. So anything you can think of that you've heard of?
Not on the strong points here, but I got a feeling getting ready to get into some downside stuff.
Yeah, there's some bad news as well. Not a whole lot. I don't know if anyone played the game Body Count. I did, unfortunately. The theory for Body Count was good. It was ended up being just a terrible mess as far as the shooter goes. They had some good ideas. Some of our older viewers might remember GoldenEye on Nintendo 64.
Classic.
And you can, no matter what anybody says, you can thank GoldenEye 007 on Nintendo 64 for making console shooters accessible to console players. But there were some mechanics in GoldenEye where you could like lean out and kind of look. And Body Count had something similar to that style, but the game overall was terrible. I mean, story terrible, just poorly executed. And
so Ice-T's version of Body Count was better than the game Body Count?
Yes, on both accounts, yes. But Codemasters, which is famous mainly for the Grid series and a few other racing games that they have there. And there's a couple other off games that they do as well. Their studio that worked on Body Count, they went ahead and shut them down. Didn't pull any kind of numbers or sales that they were hoping it to. So it's always unfortunate when a studio goes under because, I mean, there could be lots of good talent. I mean, a lot of people watching the video right now, you know, a lot of people have good ideas. It's just a matter of being independent, and you know, in this day and age, it's a good thing. You can reach out to people. Right. What we're doing now, you know, we're just trying to.
Social media is it's readily available. Just you gotta get out there and use it.
Use it to your advantage, exactly. Put it to work for you, like he says. That's what we're doing here with our Team Meds. You guys, you know, like I said, our gamer tags are all available if you want to play some games. We're focusing mainly on Gears of War 3 at the moment. We're both big Gears fans. We'll get into that a little bit more here in just a few minutes. But you can hit us up, and we'll be more than happy to play with you. I mean, our main thing is as long as you use your microphone and communicate and work towards a common goal of victory, then we want to play with you and see what you have.
Maybe it's our generation, I'm not sure, but when it's a team-based game, we try to influence team-based amongst other online players. Using your mics, communicating. It's not about our individual kill-death ratio.
Exactly.
It's about winning the match or the game or the round as a team. If you work together, I don't know numbers off the top of my head, but if I was to track it, my kill-death percentage and my win-loss percentage automatically goes up anytime we have a group of 4 or 5 that work together.
Yes.
And that's something else we'll get into later on another video, more in depth. But
yes, that's one of the main talking points we want to discuss in one of our next videos. It's definitely going to be some communication issues, and like you said, communication is key. Right. If you're worried about kill-death ratios, if you run off by yourself, you might get several kills, but your team will lose for it. And if you go to a pro gaming tournament, they don't care what you do individually. It's all about the win-loss. I mean, LeBron James, you got famous ball players. They'll go out and put up 20 points, and that's great. But in the end, it's their team that wins.
Well, sure. I mean, he's not always getting the ball without someone passing him the ball.
Yes, exactly.
And the thing is, I've looked through all the awards, ribbons, and all that on Gears 3, and if I've missed it, let me know. But I don't see one that says Hero Award, So,
no, not that I'm aware of.
Right.
No. But again, we're going to have an at-length video coming up shortly after this one that will have to deal exclusively with the online state of affairs in the gaming community today, and that is a big topic. So we're going to dedicate a whole episode to that.
And we'd like to hear from you guys too. Anything that you'd like us to look into or get our opinions on, something maybe we can research and give you a better opinion on it.
Yes.
That has to do with gaming, any of that type of stuff. Send us a message, leave us a comment, whatever.
So that's what I'm trying to do for a living here. So, follow us, like us, and we'll help you. We'll return the favor for you. Any information you want to know about, any far out games you don't find any information on, just ask. And I mean, I can find practically anything I want. Look hard enough. Another bad news: EA Visceral. They own a Visceral studio. Visceral Games did Dead Space. Well, the original Dead Space was actually done by EA Redwood, but Visceral Games was one of the production teams on that title. And after Dead Space was such a huge success, the guy who was running, the president of Redwood Games for EA, he actually moved on to a different company. And Dead Space 2 was handled by another production team, but Visceral Games was involved in both of them. Visceral has a company based in Melbourne, Australia, and they've shut that down as well. I don't know what that means for any further Dead Space games, if it'll have any effect at all. But
well, I heard they had a problem with the kangaroos packaging the games.
Yeah, the kangaroos. They kept putting them in their own pouch. What do we got here? And also, another shutdown news, Team Bondi, they filed for administration. If you don't know who they are, it's Team Bondi or Bondi, depending on where you're from. They actually did a lot of work on the LA Noire, which was a critical hit. Lots of people played it, liked it, got kind of bored with it, but I'm kind of indifferent on it. I'm not a super fan, or I don't really hate it. I just don't like it enough to care, honestly. But they're filing for an administration, which means they're just looking for someone to buy out their shares and everything. So it's always sad when you hear people, because here we are trying to get started, and lots of other people trying to get started doing things, and it's just discouraging because they started out just like this at one point. So it's just always sad news when some of the good companies that work on really innovative products, just because they're not a mass seller. I mean, we have another story we could fill as far as Call of Duty versus Battlefield versus Gears.
But just sum it up with what you always tell me about quality.
Well, sales do not equal quality. I mean, I can sell 1 million piles of crap, but that doesn't mean it's
still buying
a quality product. Yes, exactly. Let's see here. Today is the 23rd of October, and a few games coming out this week here. We've got the listing. We have, in alphabetical order, We have Back to the Future. That's only coming out for the Wii and the PC. So if you own a Wii, number one, I feel sorry for you. And number two, you got Back to the Future to look forward to.
Based off the movie?
Yes. Because this year or last year was like the 25th anniversary, and they had a whole special Blu-ray and so on. But
and for a lot of you younger gamers out there, if you've never seen Back to the Future, the movie, it's a classic.
All three are really good.
You know, show Michael J. Fox some love. Check it out. You know,
it's definitely worth watching. Side note: Nintendo does have their new system coming out. It's been announced for next year. We'll see how that goes. I have been doing some reviews as far as the specifications of it. I know the controller is, it takes a play out of Sega's book. People who remember the Dreamcast, you had the virtual memory cards you could slide into the actual controller with a screen there. It wasn't really handy unless you were playing football on Dreamcast. The new Nintendo controller is like a tablet size with a screen where you can use, like in Zelda for instance, you can have your inventory on the screen and just, instead of leaving the actual game screen, you can do a lot of interface through the controller. One of the downsides I've heard is that only one controller can be actually picked up or received by the console at any time. So you know how when we're playing Xbox, if we're at somewhere playing couch co-op on a fighting game or, you know, something like that, you can have 4 controllers actually picked up. The Wii U, as far as I know right now, one controller only, which again, I mean, we're going to have lots of content for lots of different videos and lots of good discussions. We're not just going to sit and talk about games. We're going to talk about all aspects of the gaming world, the history of it, and what some people take for granted, what people don't understand about, and
what they miss out on.
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
Like, for example, there's a lot of younger gamers now. I'm not trying to pick on the younger gamers. I think they miss out a lot. Like, we've had the conversation about... you got a lot of guys that are so consumed with the online play, which I am myself, but when you skip the single player or the story mode, you miss out really on what the game's about.
Yes,
you know?
that's the whole point of any game is this.
I mean, that's where you fall in love with your characters and
and
you get your bond with your characters that's in that game. So,
well, I mean, we grew up in a time where, I mean, for 20 years, there was no online gaming.
No, there's just me and the Super Mario Brothers.
Yes,
you know?
it was whatever character you were. I mean, you know, I got a game here for our Halloween list that one of my favorite all-time classics we'll get to in a second here. But releases this week, Back to the Future for Wii and PC. This is October 25th, Tuesday, by the way. Battlefield 3 on all systems except Wii. You know, we got 360, PS3, and PC. Battlefield 3, in my humble opinion, I think it's better than the Call of Duty in a lot of ways, and we'll discuss that once it comes out. And once Call of Duty comes out, we'll do the battle of the big dogs.
Battle of the big three.
Kind of thing.
Is that what it is? The big three?
Well,
Gears, Battlefield, and Call of Duty?
Yeah, but I think Gears is in a complete different category.
Yeah, we're kind of biased to that, though.
Yeah, we're Gears fans, but...
We'll give fair reviews.
Yes, we do give fair reviews, regardless of how biased or unbiased we may be. But I consider Gears to be a completely different experience than the Call of Duty or Battlefield. The Captain America Super Soldier is coming out this week for 3DS. All you 3DS owners out there, that's a nice little piece of equipment. Nintendo's been having some trouble selling it. Didn't it sell like they expected it to? They actually just announced they're going to put on, I think it's a $10 to $20 add-on. It goes onto the right side of the 3DS for another circle pad analog controller, basically. And they dropped the price almost $100 a couple months ago. So that's interesting to see what happens there, because the PlayStation Vita handheld is coming out. And from the reviews I've read and the action I've seen on that looks like it could be something else. I mean, I've never been into handheld games so much. I mean, when I'm not home, I'm usually doing something else that I can't play video. You know, you work and, you know, there are lives. I have, you know, wife. We're both married, kids. Well, I have kids, and he has big dogs, but which you'll probably hear. But the thing is, you know, a lot of games are on the go now, handheld on the buses, you know, whatever the case may be. We're definitely going to get an in-depth review of the Vita when that does come out. Also this week, Tuesday, Disney Universe. My wife wants to get this one for our daughter. My daughter's turning 3 November 22nd, and she is a technological fiend. I mean, ever since she's been like 1.5. You know, I want to play with the iPod. I want to play Angry Birds. I want to play the game. You know, I mean, it's. So I think the kids are going to have
possibly
fun.
use that from another review standpoint.
Yeah, we can bring her in and have her tell her what she likes and what she doesn't like. Yeah, and she could probably excel at that. But honestly, though, I'm not a big Disney fan, but I have read about a lot of the Disney games. There are 2 different ones that are coming out around the same. One's Disney Adventures, and one's something like Disneyland. I can't recall the title right offhand, but one's for Kinect, one's not. As far as I remember, the Kinect version, you actually go through a virtual Disneyland, and you know that seems really cool for all the people who like the Disney out there. Once Upon a Monster is already out. That, on a side note for Kinect, that is a Sesame Street title, and most educational games teach your kids counting, reading, certain things like that. This game focuses on social interaction more than anything else. How to get along with people. And
I know quite a few adults that need to play that game.
Yeah, exactly. And how to understand other people's feelings and why they feel that way. And I think anyone who has a Kinect and you know, has some kids, you should definitely look into that title.
You think everybody wins a ribbon on that?
Maybe. Could be. That's a
inside joke.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that eventually as well. And last but not least on the list here, House of the Dead Overkill is going to be out on PlayStation 3 exclusive this week. House of the Dead, the Overkill series, one was on the Wii. It was an on-rails shooter. People who know the terminology know what that means. People who don't means basically it's like the old arcade games. You don't control the movement. It's a fixed, your character moves at the computer's will and you just shoot, you know, like the old stand-up arcade cabinets. Being Halloween coming up this week, I listed here, just making some notes earlier before the show, I listed a few scary games that if you've never played and you like that kind of thing, you know, something that you would be interested in. First I put Dead Space. The original Dead Space is one of the only games I've ever played where I literally jumped.
Right.
And it wasn't even from anything, it was mainly the music, the sound, the atmosphere, the stuff. Dead Space, great game. Once you play it, Dead Space 2 is just as good. Red Dead Redemption, Undead Nightmare. A lot of Red Dead Redemption fans out here. I know you played it quite a bit.
Great game.
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption was great. The Undead Nightmare, I did like it. The only thing I thought was kind of weird is the zombies were fast. And it's hard to shoot fast moving objects with an old, you know,
single shooter,
bolt action revolver. It makes it challenging.
I'll tell you another attention grabber. It's not on the list there, as far as maybe not really horror gore type, but was the old Max Payne.
Oh yeah,
that was
that
good.
was based in
you know, if you play late at night.
Yeah,
the content in the game keeps your attention from a jump out of your seat kind of standpoint from time to time. So
yeah, Max Payne classic times. Max Payne 3 coming out soon as well. No exact date, but we'll let you know. Also on the list, Left 4 Dead, which is classic. Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. Lots of DLC those guys have put out for it. I've been trying to get him to get into Left 4 Dead a little bit, but time is a factor.
And I did give it a try, and I did like the taste of that I got for the game. But with all the games out now, it's just hard to get into so many different titles, but it is definitely one to look at.
Yes,
sure.
Left 4 Dead is, if you like playing online games with your friends, getting into a room with your shooters or whatever, Left 4 Dead is a team-based shooter. If you don't communicate in Left 4 Dead,
you die.
You're dead.
No fun. You're dead.
Yeah, and communication's another thing we'll go into here.
Well, and the thing too, just to let everybody know out there, is with Left 4 Dead, what I learned is like Gears 1. If you go back right now and get online and play Gears 1, you still have a solid foundation of players out there still playing because it's a good game.
Yes.
Same thing with Left 4 Dead. Now, it's been out how long?
First Left 4 Dead came out, I want to say, 2009.
Still people online
and then
playing.
The second one came out in early 2010. Yeah, it's been a while.
So the point I'm trying to make is when you get good, solid multiplayer games like that, you get a good core following. When you get a good core following, you know it's a good game.
Yeah.
So.
And Left 4 Dead, I can pop that in anytime, and I've got friends on my list that'll pop it in, and we'll just play for hours on end. And the main thing is we have a solid team, and we play against people who after one chapter they'll just quit. And you know, our next segment we're going to do will be a follow up to this. We're going to film it later on, most likely, and we'll get into that whole discussion of the online. What's the word I'm looking for? The online society of today. We'll put it that way. A classic game, like I was saying earlier, we were talking about the single player experiences, was Ghosts and Goblins, or Super Ghouls and Ghosts as it was known on Super Nintendo. If you have an emulator or an old Sega, old system, definitely look up Ghosts and Goblins or Super Ghouls and Ghosts. It was classic side scroller, hard. I mean, it was terribly hard. The difficulty on that game is insane, but it's well worth playing. And then the BioShock titles were always pretty good. Creepy atmosphere, good vibe from there. And one of the downloadables from Xbox Arcade is Dishwasher Vampire Smile. It's a real trippy dream reality type thing. Good, cool graphics. You know, it's a side scroller hack and slash kind of game, but it definitely has a good story and worth checking out. Oh, and one side note, any Guitar Hero fans or whatever, they have a Rocky Horror Picture Show track pack for Halloween now that you can download for your Guitar Hero games. And on that note, we are going to take a pause really quick, and we will be right back with some talk about Gears of War 3.